Hello and welcome to Editing with My Wife, now with more story. My name is the Hooded Philosopher, and I'm here with Cheesy Loops. Cheesy Loops, what kind of podcast are we doing here?
A podcast with clickety clacks.
Because when we not talking, you just hear click, 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 click from my keyboard. All right, so we are editing a story. I guess we should say this every time, honestly. We should find a way to say it over and over. We're editing the story, The Problems of Another World, by me, the Hooded Philosopher. And we're trying to just gently plus it up and kind of give it the close to finishing touches.
Yeah.
And then eventually at the end do a whole audiobook presentation. But right now this is chapter
9.
9. That's the number. It's right there in front of my face. Right here's chapter number 9, and we're going to recap the first 2 chapters. Or last 2 chapters.
Recaps.
So the recap.
Chapter 7, the Four Palindromes. Returning home, the parents meet their daughters. Parents learn about themselves. Renner forgot Katy. And little Zig helps out.
All right.
In chapter...
And hold on, in that chapter, what happened? Quickly kind of overview it all at once.
Okay, so they return home, explain the situation
to their parents.
To the parents, and that's how the boys explain the situation. That's how they met their daughters. Mm-hmm. And then the parents also learn about themselves.
Like Leslie particularly learns she's the bad guy in the other world, or whoever's controlling her is the bad guy.
Which is a funny line to say. The parents learn about themselves.
Yeah.
I love it.
And then all of a sudden, Renner runs out of the room.
Renner forgot his lady,
the love of his life. He disappeared for 2 days without her saying anything.
Woman.
And then they use Izzi's box. They squeeze it, and little Zig comes out and teleports them from one location to another.
And he's super helpful.
He's a little tiny Zig. All right, and then after that,
chapter 8, little dragon tears.
The girl's dad dies right in front of Otto, who sees through his mom's perspective that he's just stabbing him. It's pretty grim. Mm-hmm. But quickly learn that the conscious experience that happened over there gets manifest back into this character, so the other dad is both. Do you want to take it from there? I don't know why I have to do it. I shouldn't be. I just kind of took over. I'm sorry.
All right, so boys' dad becomes girls' dad too. Izzi is angry, and Katy teleports. Renner pops a tough question, and wedding Vegas, then reporting to Zig.
So the boy becomes the dad dies, and then Izzi is really mad about it because I guess she lost her father.
And she tried to tell him.
she tried to get his mind out.
Did she try to convince him to come with?
Not really. It's more he's trying to get her to stay, right?
Yeah.
But he didn't listen to her at all. He was saying, stay, stay, stay. Ignore everything else, stay. And it wasn't working. And then Katy... Hannah helps her out, and they resolve that. Uh-huh. And then they go back out, and Katy's there. Again, they've kind of forgotten about Katy a little bit. But she didn't mind because she was still kind of in awe of the experience of teleportation.
Yeah.
And Renner all of a sudden gets down on one knee, pulls out a diamond ring made entirely of diamond, and proposes to her just out of nowhere. And Zig helps them go to Vegas, and they have a wonderful time spending Zig's money, basically. And then they all decide that they've had enough time there, and they need to get back up and help fix this problem. So they had a little reprieve, a little bit of a honeymoon, and now we're stepping into the next chapter of them first appearing back on Zig, continuing with... They're going back up there with the mother, the father, and Katy as well. Mm-hmm. So it's not just the 4.
A little escape from reality before
it all gets very real. Mm-hmm. Very intense, very quickly. So, getting into that, let's get over there. It was Problems of the Pure Uncut Magic is next month's book.
Yes. Hey, you're scrolling.
I'm scrolling way too fast. Okay.
Chapter 9, Too Many Questions. Troon's ringing echoed out when they arrived at Zig's home. Hannah placed anchors above them to keep Troon at bay. It was different than when Izzi was first here. This time the whole family was with her, and the place looked a lot less barren. Blue Zig mist covered the walls, making them appear
to be walls.
Because
there would normally be nothing there, and now it looks like there's a wall there.
Maybe blue Zig mist hung in the air, making them appear to be walls.
That's fine. So, Zig mist
hung in the air.
This is the clickety clacks.
Click clack.
Got them clicky clacks.
Making them appear to be walls. The space had fountains of Zig mist forming tables and chairs. Zig mist fell from the ceiling to form the high back of a comfortable looking couch. They all awkwardly stood around waiting for Zig, who was nowhere to be seen. They stepped out, each having their own and distinct opinion of what they were seeing. Leslie was in paradise on Zig. The blend of nature and technology was a mind-expanding experience for her. She explored and asked too many questions. Oh, she asked many questions, not too many.
That's the name of the chapter. That's why I kind of raised my eyebrow.
I'm just placing words wherever I want.
No, I do that too. I was thinking that maybe you were doing some editing on the fly, like I do. And I thought that isn't a bad idea, although I don't really reference the chapter within it in any other chapter. So it would kind of stand out odd to me.
It's just how I read, which I don't know if you notice how I read, which gets me in trouble sometimes.
Well,
is
you catch ahead a little bit.
When I read For Robert, I'm already at it was unnerving.
Wouldn't this be easier on a smaller device then?
No.
Okay. The lines being tighter wouldn't help you kind of... Okay.
Right, For Robert, it was unnerving to be off the planet, but still have ground beneath his feet. Katy was elated to be anywhere with her new husband, but never in a million years would she have guessed this. They went quickly into the mountain. Okay.
Kind of, how it was that hallway? He's there. They go into the mountain a little bit, and he's back in the back area.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
Where Zig was there waiting for them.
Welcome back, children of Earth. I'm pleased you brought guests this way to the bounty room.
He gestured to a hole that appeared in the wall. They walked to a simple white marble room with a table and chairs that were made of the same material as the walls. The table was a simple table. Until closer inspection, each seat had the same 3 buttons, labeled by 3 symbols. One was a water droplet, the next was a small bowl of fruit, and the last was an empty circle.
The first is for drink, the second is for food, and the last to empty your plate.
He sat at the end of the table. He pressed his drink button, and a small fruit appeared on the table in front of him. He proceeded to rip off and took a small sip.
Press the buttons. I'm excited to see what you all get.
He was excited, and it was infectious. Renner pushed the drink button. As soon as he did, there appeared in front of him a malted milkshake. Katy excitedly hit the food button. Before her was a platter of onion rings and coleslaw. They each hit what they wanted, and they had a lively conversation about the dishes, explaining the origins and the tastes of the drinks and the food around them. Zig, the ever-gracious host, was interested in the origins of the food, explaining that while in this room, Zig can replicate tastes and smells that are at the forefront of consciousness.
In other words, I can replicate it even though I have no idea what it was made. Or what was made. It's really fun. It's a really fun feature of living on Zig.
He made a circle gesture with his arms, extended from the bottom up. Then his arms were in the air.
When his arms were in the air.
When his arms were in the air.
Like up here.
A light music began to play. Sneeze coming.
It's alien rhythms dancing around everyone's words, as if exemplifying and tying their thoughts together. Communication was easier. Words came to the forefront of thought that perfectly conveyed each drink and dish that rested in front of them. What about you, Zig? What are you going to do about this Earth situation?
Robert asked, changing the flow of the conversation while taking a bite of his meatball sub. The music shifted with it, a little grim, with just a chance of hope.
When I was under, before you pulled the switches, I learned recently that I did that to myself.
He gestured to Otto.
Do you have your clear rings?
Otto pulled them out, showing his father exactly
what Zig really is.
Oh my goodness.
Where's the mouse? There
what Zig really is?
Yes.
What does that mean?
So the idea is he pulls the rings out and does the thing. And shows the form of Zig. Clear is like there's no lie. It's trying to translate it all into what you can visually see. Right? That's clear. Clear-headed, clear thinking, clear intention. It's all out in the open. So the clear rings, if somebody's lying to you, it would show up in an aura in some way. Or if everything's clear with the clear rings. And so when he pulls it out over Zig, he explains it. And so he sees Zig for what he is. And so it explains here. It's hard to... I did this wrong, and I'm not sure what I did wrong.
Okay, we'll figure it out.
Maybe it's... Let me...
So first he can show his father his rings.
That's kind of what I meant to do with this idea. So it was... Otto pulled them out when his fingers came apart over lasagna. So he pulled them out and put them on.
Uh-huh.
Let me just say that there. When put them on, Otto pulled them out and put them on, period. Okay, that's the end of a sentence.
Yes. When his fingers came apart over his plate of lasagna, showing his father what Zig really was.
When Otto's fingers, let's just be clear here. Okay. Oh my goodness. When Otto's fingers came apart over his plate of lasagna, his father saw what Zig really was.
And then you said when he looked at Zig, the picture looked like every shade of Zig mist took up the same space and time. And we were doing every conceivable action he could be credibly doing.
Does that not follow? It's a big complicated sentence. When he looked at the Zig in the picture, when he looked at the Zig through the periscope.
Yeah, because Otto needs to not put it over his plate of lasagna, but over Zig.
Well, his hands are over his lasagna.
Oh, okay.
That's kind of what I meant. He's going to open it up, and his father's right here looking through.
I see, okay.
Right next to him, I should say.
So it's not like periscoping over his lasagna.
He's not doing that. He's not looking directly down. He's over lasagna.
I see.
Over what he pushed the button and got.
Yeah.
In forefront of his consciousness, lasagna. It's like Garfield.
Let's go, Otto! Lasagna.
Little bit of Italian blood in him, maybe. All right.
Wouldn't that be all of them then?
I guess, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and we're doing every conceivable action he could be credibly doing?
Yes.
Okay. What do you mean?
Every color of him was doing... It's Zig is doing all of it all at once. And it's just you see in the one dimension he's doing the thing he's doing.
So you see Zig pooping in one...
credibly. He can't credibly be pooping where he is. It wouldn't be within the character's confines.
Okay.
It really is just like... To see Zig is to see every consciousness that is affecting him, and he has many consciousness. He has a bigger, more cohesive, single consciousness that's got a bunch of tiny ones inside of it.
Okay.
And so you see them all go, and it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to our brain, and it's just trying to interpret it as best as it can, so it shows the different colors doing different things. And it's just a lot.
Take away the apostrophe out of were.
Where are we?
That line all the way to the left. Left. Your other left. Down one. That line to the left. There you go.
And we are instead. Okay, we are when we're doing every conceivable action he could credibly be doing.
Robert looked only a second, then looked away.
That hurts my head.
He said, rubbing his eyes.
It looks like there was more than one of you, just different colors.
He tried explaining.
Giving up immediately. That's what I need to put in there. I am immediately.
Immediately?
All right.
Oh, it's going to be wrong.
Immediately. Immediately.
Immediate death.
Oh, man, that's just too many big words. Okay. Periscope. All right.
Yes, Zig.
Yes, Zig is an incorporated ultra-dimensional consciousness. We exist alongside each other to aid in trans-dimensional affairs like this one. With that, Zig... Oh, that's you.
With that, Zig hit the empty plate button, causing all his food and food remnants to disappear.
I'm afraid I must first admit that a part of me near the infrared dimensions has escaped on the other Earth. Has a grasp on the other Earth. Has a grasp on the other Earth is a bid for power. His grasp on the other Earth is a bid for power. Not has. That's what happened. His grasp on the other Earth is a bid for power. It would appear that with your deployment of the portal to another dimension was nearest infrared. This gave the most power-hungry part of me a chance to impregnate your Earth. That is why there is a force to take over on the other side. It's infrazig grabbing for power. The more distinct the Earth he makes, the more likely the other Earths will form in a nearby dimension. This process, once begun, cannot be stopped and is in fact exponential. At critical mass, all consciousness will be one, putting an end to Earth, and you as you understand it.
Sorry.
That's a lot, though.
That is a lot. That's why there is a force to take over on the other side. So, in other words, Infrazig,
yes,
as he is named, wants to make this happen, to make Earth end, but not because to destroy the Earth or to conquer it all, but to do something important.
He says, the most power-hungry part of me, it would appear that for your deployment of the portal to another dimension was nearest infrared. This gave the most power-hungry part of me a chance to impregnate your Earth. That's the key word.
Impregnate.
That's not a metaphor. Right? That's what I'm trying to get across with Zig, saying it this way. Not a metaphor. He's
trying to make one being.
Penetrating an egg. In a way. That is why there is a force to take over on the other side. It's his grab for power. That is why there is a force to take over on the other side. What the hell does that mean? What am I trying to say? That's why there is a force.
So what we know so far is that Mom is saying that we need to go to the other Earth. They're posing as us and we need to destroy them. And that's part of his plan.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's his grab for power. And the more distinct, this is the key part. The more distinct the Earth he makes, the more likely the other Earths will form in nearby dimensions, and this process, once it has begun, cannot be stopped.
Mm-hmm. So he's trying to make more than one Earth, 2 Earths.
And what's the point of that?
Mitosis.
Yes. It's high school biology. He's trying to create something really big by duplicating this consciousness over and over again on our planet.
In other words, what he's trying to do is he's trying to
create a god.
Space baby.
Space god, yeah.
No, space baby.
Space baby god. Yes.
Space baby god.
He's all powerful too. He's got all this awareness in a way.
All the consciousness is
It's all their focus is his. Anyway.
Alright. If he's a part of you, then don't you know where he is and what he's up to? Leslie asked.
Because we had just created a Genesis seed through which we can put ourselves into and begin growing a Zig tree anywhere. Infrazig took the chance by putting all the rest of us down and then disappearing into the seed and embedding himself into the earth. Colors near the infrared spectrum are poor colors for implementing portal to another part of the world. It's best to stick with green.
He raised his right hand and swiped it across the right side of the room. Emerald green portals appeared around the room, each one leading to a different part of Zig.
Izzi and Hannah, I should say something like Izzi and Hannah instantly went through the portal to the lake after they finished their fish and chips. Once there, they'd begun having a magical time exploring the depths. Renner and Katy took to the forest where they rested in canopies with assorted fruits for some alone time together. Otto took his father on a walking tour around the... Why am I reading this?
I don't know. You just started reading
I don't know why I'm reading this.
I was telling you to fix each one leading to a different part of Zig. You have to each part of Zig. Yes, that word right there. Grab that word and put different. Huh? Okay, leading to a part of Zig. Yeah.
I like different more. Maybe more. There you go. I like that one. Sorry, continue reading. I think what happened there was I was caught in the story as you were reading it, and then when you stopped, I'm like, okay, I'll start reading it. It's really good. I'm enjoying it. So it's making me wonder if maybe what we should do is for the podcast, read through it all. And while you're going through, I'll make any kind of like letter errors and stuff like that where I made or confusing errors like we can fix and discuss, but then just keep pushing and just read the whole thing, and then we'll go through it again, word kind of chapter, paragraph by paragraph.
Well, I think we tried that in one of the first episodes, and then it didn't. I don't know what happened. Anywho, Izzi pulled Hannah through the portal to the lake after they had finished their fish and chips. They both got fish and chips?
Yeah.
That is interesting.
No, they do love each other. They really do. They have a closer connection than the boys.
One thing we
and
don't
the boys
know.
have a really close connection.
One thing what we don't know is what did Renner, Katy, what did Renner get? He got a milkshake.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Katy got.
They go back to this place.
Coleslaw.
They go back to this place and get different things.
What's the mom's? Leslie get?
A black cup of coffee.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
That's the only thing I say. I could add something.
No.
Like I could say right here, if he's a party that Leslie asked while munching on her salad.
No, I was just curious if you
Her
listed
salad.
everybody's things and if anybody else's was similar, because
Would it be more interesting if I did? Like if the nuance was all there is the question.
I just think it's funny that Izzi and Hannah have the same exact meal and nobody else does.
Yes.
That's funny.
Those two are they think alike. They they love each other so dearly. They're so close.
You can say that about Renner and Otto.
Yes, but it's masculine, so it's different. The need for justice and ethic of care are all twisted.
Okay. Renner and Katy took to the forest where they rested in the canopy with assorted fruits for some alone time together. For some alone time. Every time I think about that. Otto took his... Well, okay, listen. Renner and Katy could have serious conversations, too.
Yes, and I believe that comes up with the beginning of the next chapter.
I think they do have a very serious conversation about what's going to come up in the future and whatnot.
Yeah.
Not just the bound chicken wow.
But I mean, if you think about it, Zig is probably a fertile place.
Anywho, Otto took his father on a walking tour around the island. They left the room chatting about the various stuff to do on Zig. Leslie had questions. How does this place work? She asked Zig. Zig gave her a look of confusion.
Do you mean how does travel atop the various biomes work? Does that need to be there?
Do you mean how does travel work atop
yes,
the various
do you mean how does travel work atop the various biomes? On Zig? On Zig? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's going to have to self-reference a lot.
Mm-hmm. Leslie was surprised. Yes, for starters. Zig laughed. You don't have
I see.
There.
You traverse my many... Let me get him in there and make sure that's right.
When?
When you traverse my many miles...
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe... As you traverse my many miles...
Then get rid of when.
There's a when before! I didn't even notice that. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Sorry everyone, I'm a little mentally ill. When you traverse my many miles, you are dimension traveling, skipping across my many dimensions only to end up in the one that you need to be in when you arrive at where you desired, or at your desired location.
Leslie was not sure what to ask next. Zig walked over the first portal. It showed a lakeside beach with shady spots and open spots. Shady
open spots? With shady spot? Okay, I see.
Yes.
I see what
you see?
Maybe it's... I like to write like I think, and that's not good. So I like shady spots and open spots, and that's my mind.
What's in
saying
the open
those
spots?
Like big open sun patches.
Okay,
like
so
people laying down towels and laying on the flat sand.
Showed a lakeside beach with shady spots.
Sunny.
And sun-baked sand.
Shady spots, sunny spots.
No, too many spots. That's why I'm saying sun-baked sand. Something to that effect, because then you get that feel of there's some shady areas, and then some places where...
No, the and has to be there. I see.
Uh-huh.
Shady spots and sunny sand. Large rocks populated an area of the beach where the ladies' clothes lay. Izzi and Hannah are exploring a vast living creature made out of living oxygen. It's easier to swim through, humans can breathe in it indefinitely, and there are often bright light shows and a kind of edible coral reef that open your eyes to the dimensions around you.
Zig walked to the next portal. A lush forest with an expansive canopy, with the low-hanging table and seating.
With low-hanging fruit. Over.
Mm-mm. I always thought there was a branch that was in the middle of the table that sprouted the fruit. Expansive canopy with the low-hanging fruit over the table with seating made of roots.
I see. Over a table with seating. A table with...
What's wrong? A table with seating.
I'm having a brain fart. It just flatlined for a minute there. Okay.
An expansive canopy with the low-hanging fruit over a table with seating made of roots. Get rid of the comma.
With a table and seating. That's what it is. A table and seating. I'm isolating that the seating is made of roots. I think that the table...
Okay, but get rid of that comma. Between over and
It's my brain fart made real.
You just rip. Fruits and veggies growing.
Yeah, that's...
Growing out of all of it.
I can delete that because it's kind of in it. Over here.
Yeah, because I always saw that the table... Okay, so I was always seeing this table, right? This tree kind of laying sideways. And then there was this table in the middle of it. And then out of the trunk of this tree was the branches making the fruit. That's how I always saw this tree.
It is intentionally left kind of vague so that way everyone's can be their own.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to imply that the tree itself is making the table and seating. How it looks is as various as Harry Potter looked before the movies came out. Everyone had their own view of Harry Potter. Okay. It was individual. And so this whole place can be that. Everyone's mountain looks different. Everyone's geode looks different. And it's glorious to me. I don't want to be hyper-specific. I want you guys to make the story with me. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah.
And that's the same with Troon. I'm not giving him too much of a description because I'm trying to leave him as this amorphous horror. Mm-hmm. For security.
Every fruit in this... Oh, this is you.
Oh, yeah. Where are we? Every fruit in this forest quenches thirst and hunger, and any vegetable will provide help as you do complicated and laborious tasks. It makes them easier and faster. Oh, it makes this. Oh man, this is bad. Every fruit in this forest quenches hunger and thirst, and any vegetables will provide help as you do complicated and laborious tasks, easier and faster using vitamins not found on Earth. The laborious tasks are done easier and faster using vitamins not found on Earth. That actually makes sense to me. Does it make sense to you?
Okay, hold on. Every fruit in this forest quenches thirst and hunger, and any vegetables will provide help as you do complicated, laborious tasks, making them easier and faster.
Okay, that's fine. Making them easier and faster using vitamins not found on Earth. There are friendly animals in the trees all around to provide you with company, or you can give them simple tasks and they will happily help you with anything you need.
Zig walked over to the next portal. This portal was filled with crystals of all colors.
Through this portal, we can communicate across dimensions. We use it to interact with space beyond us. In fact, it has a unique feature that will allow one to talk to anyone, anywhere. It was damaged in the escape, probably on purpose, as it's a large part of our ability to communicate across the vast wasteland of space and even in other dimensions.
Zig walked back to the head of the table and got himself another drink, ripping off the top. He said,
"Are there any other questions I can help you with?"
Leslie smiled. "I must admit, I was expecting you to be more mysterious." Zig returned the smile.
"There are questions that, if asked, I wouldn't be able to answer them. Not because I don't want to, but rather it's too deep in the sciences of a single
It is too deep in the sciences of a...
Yeah, that's the problem.
Oh, okay.
A single consciousness cannot grasp its profundity, or the profundity. However, I do not wish to demean you in any way."
"What is it like being multiple beings?" she asked after she summoned a new cup of black coffee.
"It is unlike life,"
he said simply. "How do I make a portal permanent?" she asked. He eyed her.
Now that's a question. That is what the other Leslie wants. That is what the other Leslie wants. Are you sure you want to learn this?
Okay.
Are you sure you should learn this?
Now that, comma.
Yeah, that's...
That is what the other Leslie wants.
Now that. It's actually more like that.
Okay, yeah.
That is exactly what the other Leslie wants. Are you sure you wish to learn that?
Are you sure you should learn that?
I think I would rather say wish to.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give it to you, but, I mean, let's be honest. If you die, everyone loses. We don't want to put us there.
You're exactly.
Yeah, I noticed. It's got a red squiggly line under it.
It's got a squiggle.
Yeah. We got lots of clicky clacks and squigglies. Lots of squiggles.
Squiggle, squiggle.
Infrazig. Okay.
Leslie took a sip of coffee, then took a deep breath. Good point. Because we learned that if one dies, the other gets the memories. It's a good thing to know you got our back. Okay. So...
It's a good thing to know you got our back. I think you changed it, but I think it's better.
Okay, good.
Is that where we want to end it?
I feel like there could be more we can ask.
Is this the best place to end it? Like,
yes.
Like I'm imagining a scene in a movie or a TV and it just fades out of that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good thing you got our back.
Mm-hmm.
Fade out. Go to the next scene. Okay.
So
if we're going to add anything, it's going to be in the middle. Right here, where there's a bunch of questions that... I mean, I could ask a billion questions, but none of them are relevant.
So I feel like she needs to respond to his... a single consciousness cannot grasp the profundity. However, I do not wish to demean you in any way. She needs to respond to that. It's not just another question and then another question. She has responses back.
I think also I'm just gonna do...
What are you doing?
This. Oh.
I do not wish to demean you in any way. There are questions that, if asked, I wouldn't be able to answer them. Not because I don't want to, but rather it is too deep in the sciences. A single consciousness cannot grasp the profundity.
That's a sentence. It's too deep in the sciences, period. A single consciousness cannot grasp the profundity.
However, I am as open as I can be.
I mean, the next question is natural. What's it like to be multiple human beings? Because he just said one guy can't do it. One awareness isn't capable of doing it. Right? So she says, naturally, what's it like being more than one person?
Mm-hmm.
Right? What's that like? And the answer is... complicated. I mean, I don't know. I thought that was probably the truth. It's unlike life. It may be like it in some small way, but it's a place where higher truths exist that the individual does not get a grasp on. And those truths could save us from the pain that life gives us. So were we to have the truths that were obtainable by many people thinking together, we would have a better life. In other words, we started as cavemen and we started to realize that if we're around people, we'll get better. We'll do better, right? We'll get more out of it if we're around more people.
There's another point to make here that still, even with multiple consciousnesses and multiple beings, one still broke away from the group.
Yeah, it's still going to happen. Mm-hmm. And they have their reasons. And that should be recognized. There's if you're going to recognize that you have allies, you got to recognize that your allies are going to mess up. Mm-hmm. They're gonna. But they're still your allies. They're still on your side even when they mess up. They're still your allies. What was I saying that for?
Oh, because we said that he's multiple beings and one still broke away. Yeah. So.
And another reason why it's not unlike, or it is unlike life.
I feel like in between maybe his response to that question and how do I make a portal permanent.
There's stuff that could be said there.
There could be at least one more question. Yeah. And what would be a really, really important question to answer? Because they can ask other questions while we're not here.
Oh, they do.
There's other questions she can ask while
we're not here. It's the ones that are relevant. And that's what we're looking for now. What's the relevancy? Mm-hmm. Because there is relevancy to him being multiple beings. It is something that we can't understand as individuals. But they can understand what an individual is. So,
what's another question that we as a reader need?
Maybe more about Infrazig?
Why would one of you split away?
I don't know the answer to that.
We kind of do answer it a little bit, but
I'm trying to remember exactly what it was. There's a reason, and I don't want to give it away because it's the core of the story why Infrazig is doing what he's doing.
Okay, so we don't ask that question. It's another question we can't ask that's important.
Okay, maybe it's like his hubris.
And
it's there.
Silence.
His hubris is stronger than our will. His bullheaded nature is punching through us. Is the way to say it. He's not alone. Infrazig is more than one as well. A part of him does it.
Yeah.
Not just one being, right? We're not just talking about one color being. We're talking about one being and some of other parts of Zig are missing because he stole them. And one of them was the Genesis seed, which is an incredibly powerful tool. Just an unreasonably powerful thing.
That we get into later.
Maybe.
Okay.
I don't remember exactly what I wrote. But maybe it's something along those lines. She asks, so I guess another way of saying it, what would the question she's asking? Geez.
Yeah.
What's the question? Ask the question as her. What about Infrazig? What does she need to know about Infrazig?
Well, we know that Zig is helpful. We know that Zig is more than one. Hold on. We know that Zig is more than one being. Is Infrazig really bad?
Time will tell. It would be in the next book. It wouldn't be in this one.
Okay.
For now, I would say they see him as a bad person or a bad thing that happened, but Zig reforms him.
Couldn't she ask something to that? Well, no, not before that next question, too. That next question kind of...
It incorporates him, reincorporates everything.
Well, it'd be... I don't know. I don't know what... There's gotta be...
You already asked a question.
What did I ask?
How did he get out?
Oh, yeah.
Right? Because what does he say up here about Infrazig? It's Infrazig grabbing for power. And that... Where is it? Crap. Where the Genesis seed line?
And she says, don't you know everything that he's doing and where he's at? But how would he be able to do anything if he knew?
Yeah. He wouldn't be looking. He wouldn't have to worry about it.
How did he get away? Is a good question. That
does get explained.
Okay. So we don't need to ask that question.
But I think the question you could answer there is different. I could have a different answer that might fit it. Let me try this.
Okay. And it's not like she doesn't ask these questions when they're alone, but we just don't get to see them. This is just the question we get to see.
On Earth, you grow in civilization, with small pockets inside of the civilization. You grow in nations, with pockets inside of the nations you call states. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
And inside the state you have cities.
Okay.
And inside the cities you have homes.
Okay.
And a few homes packed up their cars and went to another country. That's how he got out.
But is that really a question we need Leslie to ask? Is there a question we need Leslie to ask in this moment? She can ask a multitude of questions, but what do we need to see ourselves from our point of view her to ask?
Her kids.
Her kids. Okay, so what's a question she can ask about her kids? As hooded goes clack-clacks. Children. She would say children. Are they safe here? My children? And Zig responds with... Never! Oh, wait. They are as precious to me as they are to you, if not more. Their destiny lies in galactic salvation. They are precious to me as they are to you, if not more. Their destiny lies in galactic salvation.
As if to tell the reason why it's more.
Mm-hmm.
Their destiny lies in galactic salvation. They're going to save galaxies from the doom. That's book 2, though.
Yeah.
Not book 1. That's not talking about Zig. But if her children are safe, maybe Leslie will feel better. Right?
I don't think you need to say that. Throp. She asked heart in her throp.
Throat.
Yeah, you don't have to... If it's just you have enough evidence here that you don't need to say that Zig said in this moment.
It's just quotes?
Yeah.
Do they do that in books?
Yeah.
I don't know that.
Yeah, they do that. Are they safe here, my children?
Well, you can usually fill that space with, like, motion, too.
She asked, her heart and her throat. They are as precious to me.
I could, if that's too much, like...
No, her heart and her throat. Like...
I could do that instead.
No.
No?
No. Her heart and her throat was good.
Not her throat?
Her throp. Her thropic.
What about... Because he had just recently gotten a drink. He could clean his plate.
Cleed? Zig cleared his plate. Okay.
How do I make a portal permanent?
Which is her lifelong dream. Which isn't too unreasonable for her to ask. And not in a...
And he's saying he's open. He's willing to say it.
Yes. Because she is curious.
And
she wants to know.
And he is. In all honesty, this is good standing by good. He would give the information, and when good stands by good, good must also know that the action could also what it could be, and so he steps back and knows that as a good person here, he must not give her the information.
Yes.
Very clear, and he makes it very clear why, and she agrees. And even if she was being taken over, she would agree. You know,
because it would give her away.
Because it would give her away. She's got to be hungry and power hungry. All right, recap. Well, this isn't the recap. This is the post cap. What is this?
Oh, this is our building of the recap. Yeah. All right, so returning to Zig, finding only home.
I gotta have all capitals when it's just his name. When it's just their name.
Aww. Okay, appearing in Zig's home, which I liked mine. Mine was fun.
What was it?
Returning to Zig only to find home. Capitals. Yes, capital H, because it is a place. Yes.
And you put capitals on people's names, places' names, and things' names.
3 buttons to give you what you... Or 2 buttons to give you what you want, and 1 to take it all away. They ate exactly what... Oh, I really messed you up there. What they wanted.
No.
Everybody splits up.
Let's make sure that's set too. It's like there's discussion going on during the meal. Okay. And then mood changes.
How does mood change? Everybody just splits up.
I guess. Robert asks about the plan, like the idea of what's going to happen. He's more interested in getting this over with than anyone else. And so when he asks, the mood of the music changes. And then Zig deflects it by bringing up the emerald portals. And then when he's left with Leslie, he's willing to talk about it, but he doesn't have anything. No, he does say something. He explains some things. But that's all he's got, and then he deflects with the portals.
Right.
Yeah. He doesn't really let anyone else talk during that. So it's portals.
Emerald gateways lead to fun. And then Leslie asks some questions. Leslie asks too many questions.
Which is the name of the chapter, so that's just...
And I do see her as, like, we switch perspective. She's still asking questions. We just don't need to hear all those. Either they give away plots, or it's math that we couldn't even type out because we don't know that math. Mm-hmm.
All right. Make sure you look at Cheesy Loops and look at all her Pokemons. I got 100 of them staring at me at all times. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
We love you guys. Please listen away.
Have a good day.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.